I'm Jessica Sargent Flores. I am an IBCLC, which is a lactation consultant, and I am a doula in the area in the Rio Grande Valley. I've been an IBCLC, well, I've been an La Leche leader for 11 years and a lactation consultant for, I believe, 7, and a doula paid for about 3 years. I have been blessed to work with many families in the RGV and to also have my 4 children here. My oldest I had at a hospital. I was 19, and while on paper it was a good birth experience, I wasn't treated very well by the staff. They seemed very frustrated with me, and there was a lot of misinformation, especially in regards to breastfeeding. I was told that if I didn't have milk in the first 24 hours, that I wouldn't have milk at all, that was it. I wasn't going to have breast milk. Thankfully, I had read a lot and I knew that wasn't really the case. And so I was able to breastfeed him successfully, but I didn't receive any help regarding breastfeeding, not even a little bit. And that's part of why I went into helping moms with breastfeeding, because I didn't feel like there was help available to them. And even if there was, sometimes they didn't know where to find it. My birth itself, I did have a vaginal birth and I did have a natural birth, but the staff didn't seem to care about me very much as a person. It was very quick, like, let's get you in, let's get you out. You know, I was lied to on certain things, like as far as needing an episiotomy. I was told, oh, we have to do this, let's just get the baby out really fast. And in actuality, you know, I didn't realize I had only been pushing about 10 minutes and they did an episiotomy on me. No real reason. Baby wasn't in distress. He was perfectly fine. They just wanted to speed it up. And you know, my body is not quite the same. While they sew it up, you know, there's still areas that are just not exactly the same. I decided with my second baby, because of the experience in the hospital, we actually waited 4 years for him, and I decided I didn't want to have him at a hospital, and so we had him at a birthing center in Wesco. And while that was a good experience, it was a good birth experience. It wasn't exactly the same midwife. It was kind of a mixture of midwives, which were very nice, but it wasn't the exact same. And you know, it's 30 minutes away as well, which makes a bit of a difference. And I did have a good experience there. And I had a home birth with my 3rd baby with a midwife from Corpus. She actually drove the 2.5 hours to get here. And my home birth was probably my best birthing experience. It was so nice to not have to leave the comfort of my home and to just have my baby and my family there. It was just a lovely experience. As far as working with clients, you know, I've seen clients experience the same thing that I have, and sometimes much worse. The cesarean rate in our area is very high, and as a doula, sometimes it feels like almost like a chess game, trying to keep them from having to have a cesarean. And while I know most of it is not in my power at all, you know, I do try to help them to make, you know, help guide them towards making choices that are gonna hopefully prevent a cesarean. And well, of course, it's not in my power. I do try to help them to not have that. Try to just be supportive to mom and to the baby and to OB and to the father. And even still, sometimes the reception is not wonderful, even though you would think it would be, because you know, we're there supporting our client. And sometimes the reception is really good, and sometimes not as much. I've worked with Nicole about 2 years now that she's been in our area. She immediately, when she got to this area, started making contacts with lactation consultants and doulas, and so I was one of the first people that talked to her in this area. Since then, I've been to many births with her. They've been great. There have been experiences that were sometimes a little bit more challenging, and she always maintained a level head. And so even though there might have been a quick complication, you know, she made sure to call for backup, or you know, anything that needed to happen. She was a very responsible midwife in making sure to know her limits and makes sure to call when she needs something. And I've seen so many beautiful births with moms who may not have been able to have a birth in a hospital. In our area, most of the hospitals require that once your water is broken, that you are laying in bed flat. And that is not a very comfortable position for people who are birthing. Most of them need to be able to have movement and to be able to, get in different positions, and laying down is not a good option for them. They're not comfortable. Many times if they have to lay down, they automatically ask for an epidural even if they didn't want one, and even if they could have handled labor without it. I have worked with Nicole and seen very big babies be able to come out of very little people, and part of that is because they can move around. They have freedom of movement. They have the freedom to get in positions that work well for them. Nicole is very supportive of the moms. She's very supportive of their birthing goals and their breastfeeding goals, and she gives them so much knowledge and information, and information about diet and nutrition, how to prevent some of the things that make birth more challenging. I support Nicole in her endeavor, and I hope that we're able to have a birthing center in this area, because we do need more options, and especially VBAC options. There are not a lot of them in our area. There are several care providers who will do a VBAC if the situation lines up like the stars. So sometimes, and sometimes everything doesn't line up, like the stars, and so sometimes that can make a VBAC very difficult. And studies have shown that VBAC is a safer option for most people. Not everyone, but for most people. We do have many really wonderful care providers in this area, but we also need more. We need more access to, low intervention birth like they have in other countries, in other areas of the world. I think having a birthing center in this area would be a really big blessing for the clients who live here.